So how is it that I actually carry all of this ED stuff that I talk about all the time? Well, that's the topic of today's videos. Guys, welcome to the channel. And in this case, this was requested by someone in my Spanish channel. Yes, I have a Spanish channel where I upload basically the same video, but in Spanish. If you want to go check it out, it's going to be there below in the descriptions. Even if you want to practice your Spanish a little bit, it's not always the exact same thing, but I usually do the same video in English and in Spanish in both channels. So yeah, even though it's not like word by word, it's usually very close to it, and it's going to be helping you out recognizing some of those words and structures. And if you also want to support the channel, subscribing really does help, especially with YouTube not liking this kind of content. As you probably know, when you are a bigger channel, it really helps when you get strikes and when you get lots of these issues that YouTube is known for. The bigger the channel, the more of a chance you have to be heard when dealing with YouTube, so that is really appreciated. Also, if you want to learn more about surviving, economic collapse preparedness, and EDC stuff, I cover that in Surviving the Economic Collapse, and the EDC stuff quite a bit in Street Survival Skills, including stuff like the kind of clothing that you wear and why. In fact, a lot of what you see here is explained here, like the kind of pockets that you have depending on like tactical pants, 511 pants. In my case, what I've been using for many years and what I just got this out from is this. This is a 511 Tactical, Tac Light, and these are pants that are available both in shorts and in long pants versions. I've been using these for many years. At times it was the only thing I would wear. Now I throw a little bit of jeans here and there or something else, and I'll talk about how you carry when you do that. But as of today, actually it was just my wife that reminded me that I had to do this video because she picked up my shorts and she said, this thing weighs a ton. And yes, it does, but hey, this has all of the pockets to carry everything that you see here. So how is it that I go about this? Well, let's start with the front of the pants. Again, this goes both for 511 Tac Light shorts and the long pants as well. This looks a little bit more tactically, right? The khaki sand color. Blue is something that I usually favor even more because it looks like more like normal clothing. So yeah, go with whatever works best for you. Front left pocket, that's gonna, oh, before we even talk about pockets, we have to talk about what's on your body. That's gonna be sunglasses. These are Polaroids. These work quite well. It has a nice glass. Well, actually it's probably plastic, but it doesn't distort the image, and these are polarized. So these go both as normal sunglasses and safety glasses, and being polarized, it helps out with some of that, you know, shininess that you sometimes see, especially when driving. So yeah, this is what I've been using lately. I got tired of the Wiley X letting me down, especially when it starts peeling off for no reason whatsoever. This is a lot cheaper and has been working even better. So that's what I use. Also, my watch is gonna be the Casio Pro Trek that I've been using for years now. This is all titanium. This is a resin case, I believe, with a metal insert on the inside. I think that's probably titanium and then covered with plastic, and all of this is titanium as well. It's a solar watch. It has a bunch of functions: altimeter, barometer, compass. So yeah, and yeah, even moon phase, and this, it's actually quite useful, the tides, the tide graphic. So yeah. And I use a bunch of other watches at times, but this is by far the one I use the most, the one I like the most. On my front left pocket, I will have my folder. This is a CRKT M16. The model is M1614 law enforcement model. You don't see lots of these around. I don't know if they're still in production or not. It is a little bit of a bigger, beefier folder, but that's what I want. I want something that's very utilitarian, strong. Not a big fan of serrations or the clip point or the tanto tip, but I recognize that this is very strong, and since I don't have a fixed blade, this is a good compromise. Has a great finger guard there, and it's also working as a seatbelt cutter, glass breaker, so bunch of useful stuff in here, and of course, very solid folder too, in case you ever need it. That's on my left pocket. On my left side, I will also have disposable, those Kleenex. And a little big lighter. I don't smoke, never smoked in my life, but I want to have a way of starting a fire if I can. I don't always carry a lighter with me, but in this case, I had, and I usually try to be very good about that, either this one or some of my other favorite lighters, but I will try to have one with me. And the Bic, yeah, it does work. On the same side, but on the pocket for a spare magazine, and if you have a carry gun, you probably want to use that for actually carrying a magazine. And when I do a competition, I try to use a magazine pouch. Usually people frown upon that because you're supposed to be wearing the gun running kind of gear, but yes, this will be slower, but this reminds me that I do have a pocket for magazines, and if you ever need it, it's actually a great idea to have it, because that may well be the only magazine you have left, and since this goes integrated into your own clothing, I don't see the point of not using it. But on the meantime, if you're not using it for a magazine, what I keep in there is a little bit of hand sanitizer. This is something I've been using for many years, many years, because I understand that there's a ton of bugs and things you don't want to get into that is just on all of those surfaces that people touch. So elevator buttons, doors at times, or the shopping carts, all of that stuff that you touch, you have no idea who touched that before you. So yeah, avoid getting all of that stuff like the plague. Don't obsess over it, but I try to keep hands clean, especially when touching that sort of stuff. So that's gonna be for the left side. I also have on my left side pocket, so it's gonna be this, and that I'm talking about the cargo pocket, right? These three things, my keys there too. My keys will have like a mini version of the rest of the stuff. So a small AAA titanium flashlight from Through Night, which is actually quite good, very nice. A lot of power in that thing, and Victorinox Mini Champ and a mini pry bar. I used to have a lighter here, but I usually now these days compensate for that with one of these. On my right side, I will have, talking still about the front right side. On the front right side, I will have my Leatherman, and on the cargo pocket, I will have the flashlight. This is again a Through Night that works quite well, very powerful, basically like a copy of the baton from Olight, and it has the magnet, so basically a nice powerful flashlight. The logic behind here is that I also want to distribute things so as to have access to blades on both sides. Yes, it sounds crazy, but I just feel comfortable knowing that I can access a blade on my left hand, and I can access a blade one-handed on my right side as well. If you're hurt, if you're pinned down, if you're whatever, just knowing that this could even be either an accident because you were hurt on one side, it could be imagine if there's a car accident, you're in your vehicle and you have to cut the seatbelt. Well, I can cut the seatbelt with this thing, or I can cut the seatbelt with this other one on my right side. So obsessive compulsive kind of logic, yes, but hey, I do like that, and I have one on each side. So that's on my left and right pocket. Now on the back pocket, I will have left back pocket my wallet, right back pocket my cell phone, and that's basically it. As you see, it all fits in my pants. You don't need, and yeah, it's a little bit heavier, but it's nothing that you cannot deal with, especially with a good belt, which I already removed. Usually it's going to be one of these rigger belts or a Cobra belt, or just a sturdy leather belt will work just as well. Especially if you're carrying for a carry gun, you want to have a decent gun belt. That's crucial. When I'm wearing something else, which is not very often, or if I have, let's say, jeans that don't have bigger pockets just to carry this comfortably, I mean, I can't throw all of this into most of the jeans I've worn throughout my life. But sometimes, if it's maybe some other pant that is a little less roomy, or maybe I don't want to carry this in my pockets and have less weight on them because I'm walking more or whatnot, probably I will compensate some of that with a fanny pack. Yes. Or yeah, again, even if it's like some pants that don't have enough room, maybe throw a few things in here. Or just when seating, for example, we went to the movies, we went and watched the Minions movies, which is actually quite fun for the kids. So as to sit and not have this in your back pockets as you sit, I throw the cell phone here, which I still have yeah, from the movie, either the last one or the previous one we went to see. So the cell phone will go here, and the wallet will go here. I also have a little bit of water, since I'm carrying a little fanny pack. I think it's important to have water. So this is gonna be in there. For whatever reason, I still have that Victorinox here, which is a Spartan older model that I've been using for more decades than I care to remember, more like 4 at this point, but lots of years with this Victorinox, which is still going strong as Victorinox usually does, and a little first aid kit. Nothing fancy. Few strips and some disinfectant little envelope-y thing. Maybe some ibuprofen. And what I do try to keep in all of my kits, even little ones, is some aspirin. Aspirin is not just good for headaches or any pain relief, but aspirin can also save your life or someone else if you're suffering a heart attack, which is very interesting to look into. I did videos about that, but it is incredible how much your chances improve if when suffering a heart attack, you do take an aspirin. A little bit debated exactly on how much, but yeah, have aspirin in your kit. It may save your life or someone else's life. Especially in public places, someone that is maybe going through that, you give them an aspirin, and yeah, maybe you make a huge difference in someone's life. So that's basically how I go about all of this stuff. Again, guys, I cover all of this in the channel all the time. Your suggestions are always welcome, so leave your comments there below if you have specific questions, if you're wondering about one thing or the other, or you have suggestions for other videos that you'd like me to do. Absolutely. And you also, as I said before, you have the links for my other channels and for my books where you can learn more about this stuff. See you later. Have an awesome day. Take care.